waiting now for the race start. We do have the red flag at the back. Martin Morris is at the back of this one just to get a lap or two on that Super Twin, so he'll be coming back to the paddock, so we'll keep an eye on that. But we do have the green flag at the back then, so it's going to be all eyes to the lights. The red lights are on and they're out very quickly indeed, and it's a great launch there for AJ on that number 76 Yamaha. AJ is going to go in towards Coppice then, and Luke McRae, easy man, in second place. It looks like that Michael Mills, difficult to tell from this distance as they all tip in towards Coppice there. Everybody through safely then through that fast left-hander over to the right-hand side, over the top and into your view, but you will see AJ leading the way. Yeah, sure will. AJ tucks in that big 6'2" frame of his. Barely fits behind that screen, but he certainly knows how to squeeze himself onto that bike as they go streaking through, everybody safely through Charlie's for the first time, and already developing a few good battles all the way down through the field. But out the front, it looks like AJ's going to be the first to get to Chris Kerr. There goes Martin Morris on that Super Twin, just getting a couple of laps into basically not so much to qualify, just to be allowed to race, because you've got to do a couple of laps to prove to the clerk of the course. Comes down into Mansfield for the first time. Yep, a couple of passing moves out. I think that might be Luke McRae a little bit further back there, so maybe not a great start by Luke. We'll have to wait and see how the TSL timing screens pick him up very shortly indeed. Watching everybody else through here, everybody says Martin Morris is going to be one to watch in the Super Twins. I reckon he could definitely be a fly in the order. But again, I don't know if Martin will score points. We'll worry about that later. Everybody's safely through the chicane. I think I don't see any yellow flags. Yes, I do see a yellow flag fluttering there, mate. Got a yellow flag. Is that somebody on the exit of the chicane? Yeah, I can't quite see the bike or rider. It is out of my sight there, unfortunately, but I can see the marshals running over to tend to both rider and bike there. But we do have a green flag at the bottom of the mountain, but the race leader's already out of barn and across the line to complete the first lap. AJ leads the way ahead of Luke McRae, Michael Mills, and number 440, that's Elijah Everton, the man from Horncastle, Keith. He's up to fourth position, first of the Clubmans, and we're expecting good things of Elijah this weekend, because this really is his local track there, isn't it? A name you recognise from previous clubs, but Elijah Everton inside the top four. All good. I think I recognise the bike is taking a tumble down there at the chicane. I'm going to wait till you give me confirmation on the screen there, but I can tell you the rider is up. He's okay. He's managed to climb over the fence, so absolutely nothing wrong with the rider other than a very, very bruised ego, I think. But can you see on the screen if anybody's gone missing there, mate? It does look as unfortunately number 78, Keith Pover, hasn't come across the line yet. That's who I'm thinking, to be fair, looking at the colours of the rider there, because Keith is very distinctive. He's got his very Dayglow HJC that he got from the sports bike shop there in Harlow, so from me actually. So hopefully he hasn't gone and damaged that. Otherwise you're going to have to give me some more about that. Okay, down the hill we come then, or everybody else comes as AJ makes his way out of the chicane. Now, we saw an amazingly close battle between AJ and Max Hardy at Donington last time out, didn't we? Unfortunately, Max will be on duty at Snetterton, being a BSB rider. But in fact, I do wonder who got credited with the second places at Donington there. Yeah, I know Max Hardy did get credited with them. Oh, fair play, because I guess it's not his normal class, of course. He was out in the 600 EVO, and I think he's kind of giving that up or something. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's quite academic. What we do know is that AJ's coming towards the line once again to complete another lap, and you've got to think this is looking like a bit of an AJ benefit at the moment, isn't it? Yeah, you're absolutely right though. He's done a 34 flat on that first flying lap there, Keith. 1 minute 34.049. That's, what's that, 1.4 seconds away from the lap record of Freddie Pett from 8 years ago. So a 1 minute 34 ahead of a 1 minute 37. So it's a 5.5 second gap between Johnson and McRae at the end of lap number 2. Mills, Everton, Lambden, Hurst, Corty, Aaron Munkenkind, Dickinson have made their way through on Edward Ansell inside that top 10. Then there's Tom Vaughan, Fred McMullen, Jake Anderton, Walker, Gower, Falinsky, Dutton, Bedwell, Allen, and number 22, Petts round out the top 20. Barnes, Monroe ahead of Higgins, Stewart, Otter, Peace. It looks like the 224 machine of Price, that's Dan Price, has dropped a few positions there. He's dropped 3 positions behind Stewart, Otter, and Peace. But the race leader there of AJ, he's well away with this one at the moment, isn't he? Yeah, certainly. He's just having a look at the results over the year, and AJ is pretty much undefeated. Oh, sorry, big waggle going on there into Mansfield, one of the very minor placings. Somebody having a seriously good look, but I don't think that was going to come off. But yeah, AJ's been beaten once in a straight fight all year. That was by Matt Pallett back at Snetterton, and that, of course, was when AJ made, well, I'd like to say it's a rookie mistake, but AJ's been racing for I don't know how many years, but we're well into double figures now. But he mistook a pit board for the last lap board, so I got a little bit confused there, so rolled off on the wrong moment, basically a lap too early, which allowed Matt to sneak up. He realised his mistake quite quickly, but couldn't regroup in time to stop Matt from taking that win, but he still picked up a second there. But other than that little faux pas, he is undefeated in every single race that he's finished, which is quite a remarkable record, because there's been some very good riders challenge him this year, hasn't there?
Yeah, you're right there. He's just coming across the line there with a 1 minute 33.3 on a 600 around this Cadwell Park circuit. It's certainly not bad going, to say the very least there for number 76 of AJ. 8.3 seconds ahead now of McRae. Now the battle we need to watch here is the one between McRae and Mills, because that's only a quarter of a second. And also that one between Elijah Everton and Joey Landon, because that's less than 0.2 of a second there, Keith. So the battle for second and fourth really are starting to heat up now.
Yeah, Johnson with that gap, what do we got, about 8 seconds there, you're right, he's going to be unchallenged there, fastest lap time and time again, but McRae and Mills, those are the two where the real battle is, and that battle for fourth place, Everton and Landon. Of course, Landon needs all the points he can get, because currently he is second to AJ in the championship, and I think he's unlikely to catch him on sheer speed, but consistency can also pay dividends as well, so we'll have to wait and see if there's any change as we go through the year, because after this round there'll only be 200 points after today, so we're rapidly running out of season. Seven races, meetings for each class, apart from the YPMs who get to do 8, which is a bit of a mixed blessing really for some people, and I think having 2 Cadwells in a row is what Pete was saying yesterday. That's the bit where you think, oh, is that a little bit too much? Because Cadwell Park, for a lot of people, most people I have to say, is a fair old way to travel. So that'll be under discussion next year, and that is next year. We'll worry about that in 2025. But right now we're going to worry about what's on the track. And we're not going to worry about AJ actually, because there's nothing to worry about, is there? He's just absolutely flying.
Yeah, 10 seconds is the gap now between Johnson, and now Michael Mills moves ahead of the number 5 Triumph of McRae, so it's Yamaha leading Triumph. Then the 2 Kawasaki's of Elijah Everton and Joey Landon. Of course, Elijah Everton first of the Clubmans at this stage then. Second of the Clubmans we find in 7th place overall, that's Jake Corty ahead of Aaron Monk by 0.155 of a second. So that one between 531, Jake Corty, and 39, Aaron Monk. That's for second and third in the Clubmans then. We'll have to keep a close eye on that one in the following, where we've got 8 laps to go here. 4 laps down, 8 to go for this one. The majority of the field here going personal best on this lap then, but AJ still in the 1 minute 33 bracket as he makes his way down from the gooseneck in towards Mansfield, in towards sector number 2 then, and the sector number 2 then between Mansfield and the chicane. So AJ sliding it into the bottom of the mountain then, through the left over to the right hand side now, a little bit of air underneath the front and potentially rear wheels as he goes over the top there. Luke McRae back in front of the 56 of Michael Mills, so McRae back in front of Mills for second place. Elijah Everton doing everything he can to hold on to 4th place overall then, the number 440 just ahead of number 3 Joey Landon, the man from Crowborough then. So a local circuit for Elijah Everton, most certainly not a local circuit for Joey Landon, but they're right there together on circuit as they tip in towards Hall Bends then. 6th place Sam Hurst. I can see the pit board will be going out very shortly for Sam Hurst there. Jake Corty seems to be hot on his heels as they make their way in towards that Hall Bends section, but across the line is Luke McRae and Michael Mills. The gap is 0.1 of a second between the 5 and the 56 then. The Triumph triple ahead of the inline 4 Yamaha R6. Their round copies over towards Charlie's now, and you'll see that battle coming into your view now, Keith.
Yep, certainly will, mate. I think Crowborough is relatively local, mate. It's just north of Peterborough, isn't it?
What's that, sorry?
Crowborough is just north of Peterborough, isn't it?
No, Crowborough is the other side of London. That's Jack Sim area. Oh,
okay. Oh, that's interesting. I'm trying to remember what I saw. Anyway, I don't mind. All I can see at the moment is AJ clipping the apex beautifully at the the gooseneck, making his way down the hill. He's on where the oil line has been dressed. He doesn't phase AJ at all. He's absolutely perfect on line. Shows Tyler Donovan follows similar lines to AJ, but not there's any consolation. And it's second place there. That battle does continue. I think fourth place battle, I should say, starting to look as though it's getting a little bit consolidated now, because those 2 bikes are now separated by just a little bit of a gap. So, and I think it's also second place. Is that was that Mills in second place?
Yeah, right. That's Michael Mills now ahead of
Luke McRae. Now he's got in front of him. I think that he's opening up that gap just a little bit. I think Everton's quite settled there in 4th place as well.
Was that a challenge there at the end? That's a very close battle. In fact, going in towards the bottom of the mountain, it looked like Aaron Monk and Kai Dickinson were involved in that one with Edward Ansell and Jake Corty. I'm watching them. Oh, that's so close. Aaron Monk then goes to the inside in towards Hall Bends. Michael Mills across the line. Luke McRae across the line. The gap's 1.3 seconds between them. Elijah Everton and Joey Lambden. The gap between those two riders is 1.2 seconds. And just going back quickly, I think the place you were thinking of the other side of Peterborough, Keith, is Crowland.
Crowland, Crowborough. Yeah,
close enough.
It's all Crow talk to me. Yeah, no, I think you're probably right there, mate. Yeah, absolutely. You usually are. Somebody's got to correct me. Might as well be a child. Okay, Elijah Everton, I just realised as well, he missed Pembrey. And he had a really good Donington Park in the Clubman Championship, winning every single race, actually, Elijah. So, at the moment, he's on to pick up, well, actually, this is a double point race, effectively, isn't it? So, yeah, we're at the halfway point, so he's picked up the 25 points that he needs in the first half. If you're going to continue this pace, then that'll be 50 points. So, where is Tom Walker here today? Yeah, there he is. Tom's down in
6th place in the Clubman.
6th place in the Clubman. So Tom's not going to have such a good day at the office. What are we picking up for 6th place? 10 points, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so if he gets a couple, that'll be a 30 points. And that would actually give Elijah 3rd in the championship by a mere point. Jake Corty is 2nd in the championship at the moment. And obviously Jay's going to pick up some useful points here. Also, doesn't look like Aaron's having a bad day at the office either. So... He should well keep his championship lead, very much a healthy thing. Right, so AJ absolutely dominating proceedings, predictably enough. Michael Mills there in 2nd, then it's Luke McRae, Elijah Everton, Joey Lambden, Sam Hurst. It'll be interesting to see how Sam gets on when it rains a bit later today, because at the moment it's cloudy, but they're not dark, threatening clouds at this stage, and it's nearly 10 o'clock, which is the time we're expecting a little bit of potential precipitation. So hopefully it's going to stay away, and hopefully for the whole day, but I think that's probably just wishful thinking on my part. So 25 points if you're leading at the end of 6 laps, and all the way down to a single point for 15, and obviously at the end of 12 laps there's another 25 points on offer. Now AJ's biggest problem, I think, is going to be some back markers, because I think he's just come up on someone. He's just nailed a couple of back markers. Because obviously if you're coming up on a back marker at Cadwell Park in a 12-lap race around here, you're going relatively slowly against the speed of the leader, aren't you, Bradley? Yeah, you're right. I'm just going to put this to you. That battle that just came past you there, we're thinking involving 1, 2, 3, 4 bikes. We've got Sam Hurst, Kai Dickinson. That's for 5th and 6th place in the MRO600s. And in the Clubmans, and just behind them in that same group, is Aaron Monk, number 39, and Jake Corty, number 531. So let's have a look. It's only around about 0.8 of a second separating those 4 riders as they go up towards Park Corner at the moment, which interestingly enough, I had a word with Morgan Creasy earlier on today, and he said that, you know, you're on the brakes there, the front dives, and then there's a few bumps on the entrance in towards Park Corner as well. Well, we did our inspection lap earlier. We noticed those bumps going to Park. It's getting definitely... starting to feel like a Braille copy of Playboy magazine up there, all the lumps and bumps up there, isn't it? Well, you'd know more about that than me, but that battle between those 4 riders and in towards Hall Bend, as we mentioned, then it was led by Sam Hurst as they came across the line the last time around. Now, Luke McRae there is now 5.9 seconds behind Michael Mills. Michael Mills, 1 minute 34.7 on that last lap. On lap number 8, we have 4 laps to go, and that is his personal best of the race. So let's have a look at that battle, in fact, between Everton and Lambden, because it looked a little bit closer for my money there, but it has opened up to a second there with Elijah Everton going 2-3 of a second quicker than Joey Lambden on that lap. Dickinson, Hurst, Monk and Corty is now the running order in that battle for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th place, with Edward Ansell rounding out the top 10 ahead of Tom Vaughan by half a second. Fred McMullen a further 0.4 of a second behind them, but AJ really getting into the thick of things with the slower riders, of course. As you mentioned yesterday there, Keith, the more riders you lap, the quicker the lap riders are, the further up the order you go. Yeah, absolutely. They get harder and harder to get past at the end of the day, especially somewhere here like Cadwell Park, because I know we always say it's difficult to overtake, but there aren't that many opportunities here, really, so sometimes you have to squeeze that opportunity. Well, one person who did squeeze an opportunity somewhere around the track last time round was Kai Dickinson, because he found his way past on Sam Hurst to take that 6th place, and that is very much an outright battle between those guys. I just can't quite see the screen because I'm just looking, but yeah, it's between 5th and 6th in class, because the only clubman ahead of those guys is Elijah Everton there, who's having a really good meeting so far. Let's could be a good point. Could date the track for Elijah Everton, because he's certainly come on strong since those wins at Donington Park. He started off the season very slowly, missed Pembrey completely. They clambered onto the podium at Snetterham for a 3rd place, and then came along to Donington Park and absolutely blitzed everybody there. And you wouldn't think Donington Park was his home track, but certainly Cadwell Park is his home track, and he's meaning to capitalise on that. So I think those folk ahead of him in the championship better look towards their laurels, because he could be coming very quickly indeed as AJ makes his way down into Mansfield once again on his dominant way. Another couple of back markers. Again, he's just he's done this loads of times. He's not going to take any risk. I don't know if he's getting a board down there at all, but he's quite capable of looking over his shoulder. And I think he's been doing this long enough that he'll know how dominant he is, I think. So,
Keith, you mentioned he's not taking much risk. Guess who's just gone purple in sector 1?
Well, that's just going fast. That's not taking risks. Well, he's not going to back that up with the purple in sector 2, because I think he's going to get some traffic across the top of the mountain, which is never good for a decent lap time. But it'd be interesting to know what sort of lap that would have given him if he'd been able to continue at the unchallenged pace, because we do get a sector breakdown here at Cadwell Park. Again, you can see all these on your TSL timing screens. Just go to tsl-timing.com and look up the Cadwell Park. If you're listening at home, you can watch the screen. You can also listen to the commentary if, God forbid, you want to. And feel free to let your friends and family know. They can see your progress exactly the same as we can in the commentary box here. When we say somebody's gone purple, it means they've set the overall fastest lap of the race. If it goes green, it's a personal best, and if it goes yellow, it's a pretty average lap. However, we have occasionally seen people do 2 yellows and still set the fastest lap of the race, because they have actually gone quicker at previous times. So it just gives us an idea of what the absolute perfect lap could be, but it's nothing definite. So those guys in the lower orders are starting to come into the traffic as well. So that could make a difference to their proceedings. Yeah, that's a very close battle indeed. Just going past me, that'll be the Dickinson-Hurst and Corty battle with Monkwright's in the mix there as well. So those guys definitely having a scrap, and again, they're hitting those back markers at the moment. Just 2 laps left in the race. Well, it'll be 1 lap when AJ gets to the start-finish line and receives the last lap flag, the hurry-up flag last. Well, AJ definitely doesn't need a hurry-up flag. Let's see, what did he end up with? A 34. So what's his best?
3 so far. And that one's set on lap number 3.
Yeah, okay, so potentially there was a slightly quicker lap out there if he could have had a clear track for the rest of it. But I think he's just probably riding that fast just to amuse himself, if anything else, Bradley.
Well, he's certainly doing a good job of it. So it was a 34.9 on that one in lap traffic there for AJ. Michael Mills, interestingly enough, let me have a look at the lap time on this one, because the absolute fastest first sector time was a 53 seconds, and Michael Mills has done 1 minute in that first sector. So I'm not sure what happened to Michael Mills on that one there. Apologies if you saw it there and I just didn't hear you say it. But yeah, he's dropped a few seconds on that one. 6 seconds around about there, or Michael Mills on that lap. 5.6 seconds is the gap now between himself and Luke McRae, when it was approaching 10 seconds. And Elijah Everton across the line then ahead of Joey Landon by 0.3 of a second. So it was really close in the early stages of this race, and it did open up to around about 1.5 seconds or so. But Joey Landon, it seems as though the young man from Kroger has got a bit of a second win here, because he's less than half a second behind Elijah Everton.
Well, he better really get a move on though, because he's running out of time very rapidly. We are now on the last lap, of course. AJ is already under the bridge there, which crosses the track by the chicane. So he has
retirement, into pit lane here as well. It looks like number 64 machine coming into the pits, and number 64 Jack Allen into the pits.
It's rather annoying for Jack. He didn't have very far to go before he got to the end of the race, because that checkered flag is going to be getting warmed up right now. And it's going to be getting twirled in the general direction of AJ very soon as he celebrates yet another win, I think. Here he comes. Is that him coming out of barn?
Yeah, and absolutely is. Checkered flag beckons, and it's another 25 points into the pocket of number 76 AJ. on that Yamaha R6 then, and it's on that final lap then. He's still in the 33s after 12 laps here at Cadwell Park, so not too bad for AJ, to say the very least. Just waiting now for the number 56 of Michael Mills. He's round the hairpin now on the short straight between the hairpin and barn, in towards barn and back into our sights in just a moment's time. There he is right on cue, the number 56 of Michael Mills, of course former runner-up in the MRO600 Championship 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years ago now. Next across the line there, Luke McRae, 4.1 seconds behind him in the end, and it was Everton in 4th overall, ahead of Joey Lambden by 0.9 of a second.
So Elijah Everton takes victory in the Clubman 600s at the end of those 12 laps there. And I think it's just up next to 135. And second now is the 131. Sam Hurst up next, 6th place overall, 9th place, 6th place in class, 9th place overall for the number 91 of Sam Hurst. Next up is the Orwell Motorcycles Kawasaki of 81, Fred McMullen, Tom Vaughan, and the 67 top 5 in the Clubman there for Ed Ansel, the number 67 Triumph. 910 Harry Gower should be the next man to come into our site here, and we're watching them out of